Hopefully that'll free up. This is pretty sticky in here also. So I don't know what this gasoline has got on this thing is, but it's pretty murky stuff. Push down with your chin right on top of that, get more pressure. See how we do that here. You just push down like that, and you get a lot more holding power for that. You don't want to beat on with an impact because it'll bend the shaft. So, I got a screwdriver, it fits pretty tight in there, but it could be a little deeper. It's a little bit too fat, but it worked. There's probably new screws in the kit, but just in case. Now this one here has a number 18 or 19 throttle disc in it. 12. Number 12 disc. So we'll have to look on the cheat sheet and see if it's correct. This is full throttle right here. So when the throttle disc goes past full, it's not full throttle. Full throttle is right there. That's not full throttle. Duckbill pliers pull them right out, or flat nose, whatever you want to call them. Doesn't screw it up when you pull it out. Now there's different throttle discs, and the discs have different angles cut right here on the edge of the disc. So this is the one that doesn't really have on it. The X something number is the better one. So we'll probably be upgrading that. We're going to make it like a panhead carburetor. They ran a little bit better. Do a little upgrades here and there. Makes a difference. Okay, so this has a pinch screw right here. So that's this one. And this is an idle speed screw over here. So if it always gets a stop, you can push on the screw without hurting yourself. It's best not to have your finger over there, just in case it slips. Makes you bleed. Looks like it has a spring in there where it belongs. That's good. Should be a new one in the kit. I'll see. This is an aftermarket lever. Made for a knuckle though. Let's check real quick to see what's missing in here. I do not see the triangle spring. Oh, there it is right there. So we have a new one. Goes in the junk box. We have a bunch of new screws, but they're a lot. Looks like they're longer than the old ones, so you might not use those. Alright. Over there all the way. Okay, so this one here, same deal, it's kind of mucky. Take these ones out. Pretty tight. A lot of crud on those screws, you got to kind of back them off, go back and forth a couple times. Make sure you don't screw them up. So when it gets tight, just tighten it back up again, go backwards again. Tight, go back and forth a couple, just muck on the threads. Once it comes out easy. Just muck and corrosion. I don't really see a lot of corrosion, just muck. And if I put a little bit of CRC there, it'd be a little better too. But it's alright, it was coming out alright without it. These throttle discs are all the same, doesn't matter what numbers on them. There's 1 inch, 1 1/4, 1 1/2, it's the same part. The only difference is they've had a bigger hole down here on some of them. And then the late ones are a flapper one, which I don't like. I like the hard one. If you leave it closed, the bike don't run. Turn the choke off, dumbass. Okay. ace again. Where's the other one? .32. Some kind of metric. It's 3/8 stock. This 11/32. Look how loose it is. It's probably a metric screw of some type. Whatever. It's not American. Wasn't very tight either, so the 11/32 did work, but it's not nearly correct at all. But this one here will work just fine. It's adjustable. Put it where it needs to be. We see a lot of shiny new parts on things that's probably aftermarket parts. So. Someone put this together with a bunch of aftermarket parts, and there's always fitment issues. This lever's loose over here, see? Come unriveted, so that needs to be repeened in there or soldered. Eventually the thing will fall off, but for now it is what it is. There's a spring and ball over here, so if you hold the triangle down and push the shaft out, if it'll come, you won't lose the ball. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a tap. And then you hold the ball down, pull the shaft out, let the plate come up, and there's a ball and a spring in there. So there's a spring, and there's the ball, and they're all full of muck and stuff. So I'm not to reuse all that, so don't get too carried away. Let the ball go. Put the ball on top of the nut, you don't lose as much, or inside of like a lock washer. This is pretty mucky too. Yeah, it's definitely loose. I have to try soldering that up, and hopefully it'll tighten up. Still not going. So we got a venturi and a spray nozzle in there. The spray nozzle didn't come out because it's mucked up in there. If we're lucky, we can push it down and it'll come out. If we're not lucky, it won't come out. Okay, it moved, but it's mucky. So what I do is I put an easy out in there. Grab one of the easy outs here. Find the one that fits in the hole. Too big. Grab one of these small ones here, the number ones. That's the one. You tap it in. Take your adjustable wrench and unscrew it and pull out at the same time. And if it's not too mucky, it'll come out. There we go. So he has an intermediate year style in here. It's not the real early one, it's not the real late one. Definitely is mucky though. Muck City. Now you get the easy out. So he's putting a vise over here. Down low enough. And you wiggle around until the easy out gets free and comes out. And that's how you get one that's really stuck out too, same thing. Okay. Throttle shaft comes out now. There we go. We check to see if this one's used, and we got the new one if they need it. If it's still usable, we'll reuse it. I don't replace parts just because I want to replace everything inside the carburetor. Oh, you won't even watch what I was doing. Here's the throttle shaft. It's not looking real worn right now, but I gotta clean it up and see. Okay, the butterfly is ready to come out. Or not the butterfly, the venturi. So you gotta knock that out of there. So Dad made some tools a long time ago for knocking this stuff out. This appears to be the one for this size carburetor. It's moving, so that's a good sign. Doesn't really damage anything when you use that. V-Twin sells a bunch of tools for doing this stuff. It's got that real nasty, rotten gas type stuff in there. I don't know what it is. It's like tar. Stinky ass tar. Okay, I got some plugs we got to pull out. So, there's one right here. Got to clean that gallery out. This gets plugged up in here a lot. Screws the whole intermediate circuit. That's just an idle passage transfer. There's another plug up here that drills down all this way. Whenever you see these long passages, there's either plugs or something in there that you got to get out. So hopefully these things unscrew and come out easily. They don't always. They're a little bit of a pipe thread, so they're tapered. They're just little set screws, but they're not a set screw, they are a tapered pipe plug. Set screws are straight thread. Yeah, that one's kind of loose. Tight again. Okay, we don't want to bang on that needle to bend it, so lay on the body over here so you don't do damage to the rest of the carburetor. It's best not to damage things if you don't have to. Oh, I thought that popped. It did not. Felt like it did. Moved. There's mucky in there. That's in there pretty good. You just unscrew by fingers. See a bunch of corrosion stuff in there, whatever that is. You see all the white crap in there. Is that corrosion or some kind of a locking crap? Doesn't look like Loctite, but looks like corrosion. See, it's in all the screws. It's like this thing was underwater almost. Okay, so I think everything's out except for the jet now. That plug's out, that one's out. These ones down here got to come out. There's two right down here. There's supposed to be an actual jet down here, which one you got to put in. So it's not in here. That one's broken off. Only got half a screw there, so we're leaving that one. We are pulling this one out. We'll be putting a jet in there. The jet belongs over here, but it'll work over here too. Doesn't matter. It goes into the hole in here, so well, you have access, you're fine. Alright, so everything's in there nice looking so far. We just gotta get this freed up. Okay, so let's go see what we're gonna do to get this freed up. I'm gonna use my channel locks. I'm gonna use this set here if I can. These are the ones that are broken. Yeah. Oh, good. It moves. Just all mucked up. I use that set because it fits in a notch. It's pretty good and doesn't tear it up. Okay, so that's freed up. It was all gooed up in there. CRC did its job. Okay, so that's one stripped down body. Nasty, stinky, needs to be cleaned. Alright, so we're going to let that soak overnight. And we'll come back tomorrow. And I'm not using carburetor dip, I don't have that around here. That crap ain't allowed in California. We'll put some other stuff in there. A few of these other parts here will go in there too. This nasty stuff here, we'll dip it. This here, all this stuff here. Yep. Okay, we're going to clean all this stuff up here. These other parts we'll clean differently. So this stuff with all the muck on it will get cleaned up. The rest of the stuff will stay right here. And we'll be back tomorrow. Work on some more after working my race bike some more. Alright, that's it for tonight.